Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Dudes. I'm Phil,
And I'm Alec.
and today we are finally gonna be talking about Wong Kar-wai because today's episode is about Chungking Express.
Yeah.
Uh, hell yeah! So, Chungking Express, as I said, directed by Wong Kar-wai in 1994, I think. Yes,
Yeah.
1994. So I guess we could kind of do a synopsis of the film to start us off.
Sure thing.
The film basically is two different stories. The first one is about a cop who recently broke up with his girlfriend, and who fell in love with I guess a criminal. I didn't fully understand what she was doing. She was doing something with like drugs or whatever. Who in the movie is always wearing a blonde wig, and basically it's just about like the first half of the film is him, starting to deal with his breakup and falling in love with her. And the second half is another love story with a policeman. This time it's with a woman who works at a fast food restaurant who falls in love with the guy to the point where she kind of like gets a bit creepy, starts to go to his place, starts cleaning his place when he's not there without him knowing. It's a really weird story until the end where she ends up going to California, which is something that she talks about a lot during the movie. And yeah, I just realized I did a very quick synopsis.
That was very quick, yeah.
Yeah, just speedrun that shit. But I mean, honestly, like there isn't really that much like that much like, at the end of the day, it's just like people living their life and
It is, yeah. But I guess you really, yeah. With the first one, there's like a bit more other things to talk about, but the second one it's pretty cut and dry. It's like, yeah, she redecorates his place. Yeah. They talk. It's pretty cut and dry. But the first one is, like you said, about a cop, about a young guy, who recently broke up with a girl named May, and she broke up with him on April Fool's Day. So he kind of takes it as a joke, but decides to buy little tins of pineapple with the expiration date for May 1st, which is also his birthday. Basically him saying like, if she isn't back with me on May 1st, then that means that our love really is dead. So he he does that. and we basically come in around the time that it's May 1st, and he eats all the pineapple in rapid succession, and then goes out and meets the woman in the blonde wig, and they drink together. They go back to a hotel. She sleeps. He watches some TV. Then in the morning he like kind of cleans up the hotel room a little bit and then leaves. And as he's out jogging, he receives a message on his pager from the woman saying happy birthday. And that's the end of that story pretty much. It's not a very complicated plot, but I don't know. I guess the way that I would describe Chungking Express is like, I don't know. I think it's probably Wong Kar-wai's best use of like, not metaphors. I guess just use of like, just simple love stories.
Yeah. How to tell a story that is like pretty basic but tell well.
Oh yeah.
And make it interesting. Yeah. So all right. This is my. I don't know if you want to go further into the synopsis, or if we could directly go into.
There isn't really much else to, I guess, say.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess to elaborate a little bit on how, the girl in the second story, Faye gets into the cop played by Tony Leung. Like how she gets into his apartment is that the cop's ex-girlfriend basically comes around to the restaurant that he frequents that Faye works at, and is just like, oh, here's this letter, give it to him. And everybody in the cafe starts reading the letter, and she discovers that it comes with keys. And so she tries to give it back to the cop, but he's like, nah, I don't want it. And so she takes the keys and starts cleaning up his apartment until she's discovered. And then they try and go out on a date, and then she goes to California.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that out of the way, yeah, we can just go into like notes.
Yeah. Well, so all right, that was my second time watching the movie, and overall, it's my third Wong Kar-wai film that I've seen. The other ones are In the Mood for Love and Fallen Angels, but you have seen quite a lot more from Wong Kar-wai, especially for Chungking Express, I think.
Yes, I've seen. Well, I own the Criterion Collection recent box set of World of Wong Kar-wai, which features the new 4K restorations, which are the more widely available ones right now. But I've seen about 7 of his movies, which is not all of them. I think he has like 3 or 4 more that I haven't seen. But I've seen Chungking Express on its own. This would probably be the 4th time. I would say 3 times of those was the new 4K restoration, and then a few months ago, one of my professors was able to get a copy of the original cut, which I was able to watch, and I don't know. I have some notes about that, but we can get into that whole thing later.
Huh. I didn't even know there was another version of the movie.
Yeah. Which what version, or okay, what did you watch it on?
The Criterion Channel.
Okay, yeah, that's the new cut that he did for the 4K restoration.
I'm guessing the same on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing the same on the Blu-ray since it's Criterion.
Yeah, it's the same.
Right. Fair enough. Well, all right. I guess we can just start talking about our notes that we've written about the movie. So hold on. First of all, I want to talk about the intro sequence of the movie, which is the first few, like I want to say the first 5 minutes of the movie, just introducing the 2 main characters for the first for the first story of the movie, which I think is just in terms of rhythm and in terms of like directing and everything, I think is like so. I think it's perfect. Like it's a perfect piece of cinema.
It's amazing. It's so like expertly crafted in so many different ways.
Yeah.
That it really seems like it took so long to complete, but that's not even true. Which I don't know if you know too much about the backstory of Chungking Express.
Yeah, well, I heard that. I heard that it was that he was editing his movie Ashes of Time, and while he was editing it, he was kind of like burnt out from it and wanted to work on something else. So he wrote Chungking Express to kind of like get Ashes of Time out of his mind for a bit. Yeah,
what I remember I wrote I think I wrote an essay on Chungking Express last semester for one of my classes. And I kind of did a deep dive into the whole thing about it, and that it's like I believe they ordered, or the studio that was giving Wong Kar-wai the money for Ashes of Time ordered like a bunch of like special effects stuff, or just they ordered something to do with post-production that Wong Kar-wai did not need to be a part of, and being burnt out from editing the film, which was such a mess in his eyes that he released a re-edit of the film years later. So he was so burnt out that he just decided, screw it, I'm going to get together a bunch of the actors that I know, some of them that were in Ashes of Time, some of them that have been in previous Wong Kar-wai films, and he just went out into the streets of Hong Kong and made Chungking Express in 2 months. It was 2 months.
That's fucking crazy.
It is so insane. And then he just went right back to work on Ashes of Time. So it's like Chungking Express. To him, I think he's quoted as saying it was one of the things that like helped him fall back in love with making movies, which I can totally see that because it feels like such a, I don't even know what the word would be. It just feels relaxing. Like I don't know what it is. Chungking Express, and to an extent, a lot of Wong's movies is just it brings kind of like a refreshing feeling of like, oh, this is relaxing. I like watching this.
Yeah. There is, it is like a vibe.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, what was I gonna say? Fuck, I don't remember. Oh yeah, I was talking about the intro, which kind of like made me realize something, which is how much I noticed just how much Wong Kar-wai likes when his characters are like narrating the story and telling their story through voiceover, which like happens in Chungking Express. I'm pretty sure happens also in Fallen Angels and In the Mood for Love.
I don't remember too much about in the Mood for Love, but I'm sure it does.
And I think it does.
Yeah.
But also, like, it really gives us like the best lines in the entire movie. Just like any scene with one of the main male characters alone in their apartment, just talking about their life. Like whether it's my favorite scene by far in the entire movie is when what's his name when the first main character is eating the pineapple, and it's such a good scene in general, and he's just like going to his dog and being like, want some? And he says like, oh, people say that dogs are the human's favorite, human's best friend. So why can't they live through your grief with you, or something like that? Which is so like, I don't know. There's something so funny about that. And there's another one who's just like with Tony Leung at in the second story, where you're just like talking to like some plushies that he's got in his apartment, just brushing them. It's just like, oh, and when he's talking to his sub, and it's like, you've lost weight recently. It's there's something so funny about that, but there's something so I don't even have a word for it, but there's something that I just love so much about it that's so, I don't know, human in a way.
My personal favorite Tony Leung apartment scene is when he's talking to the plush of Garfield, and he's like, oh, you put on some weight, but you look rather cute now. And it's just such a fun little throwaway scene that means nothing, but is so cool. He's like talking to his towels. He's like, you're ragged now. It's not, her being gone is not a reason for you to let yourself go.
And it's also so smart, because it's like
it is.
He's talking to like the random objects in his house, but he's also like, it's almost him finding a way to talk to himself about what he's feeling through the breakup. It's so clever. I love it so much. There's something too in this movie that I noticed is only there in the first story, which is those very like those very cool shots with a very low shutter speed, which basically gives the shutter speed is one of the most basic settings in the camera, and if you lower it, and it's gonna make it as if it was like less like frames per seconds, and it gives it kind of like a dreamlike aesthetic, and it's used a lot in the scenes. Basically, any scene that has like some kind of action, especially any scene where we see the main character as like his cop life chasing criminals.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I first watched the film, I was like really surprised by those shots being in the movie, and I think I googled like what's the meaning behind those shots, and I didn't really find anything that truly answered the question. But I think I don't really know why they're there, but I love them.
I think my personal favorite example of those are in the second story though, is like when he's like when he's in the restaurant with Faye, and he like sips the coffee and it's all like slow and all the people are walking by, and it's the same thing of when he's in the restaurant at the end, and like he's at the jukebox and everyone's passing by. Like those shots are just like stunning.
Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's like some really good shots in this, but it's in general the movie also has a vibe of like, they made the movie really quick, so I assume they had a very small team of just like people making sure that the shot looks right, and maybe a guy like a sound guy making sure that you can hear what they're saying. But it really has a feeling of like in a small independent movie of just like people shooting like people living their life, which is something that I really like.
It feels really close. Like
that's
all
exactly right.
It's all close, and it feels it feels exactly like that.
Yeah, it's I wish I had another way to say it, but like that movie is a vibe.
Oh
it's
yeah,
a really good vibe. I love it.
It's immaculate. It's so good. I guess a couple of notes I had pertain to this is mainly what I was this is one of the points I've always wanted to talk about in terms of like if we ever or when we ever talked about Chungking Express. Is I guess the difference between the cuts that I've noticed at least. Obviously, like one of these days I'm wanting to get my hands on the original cut, because I know that it still exists out there on like earlier DVDs that are out of production. But there's a lot of different I think take changes, like they use different takes. There's specifically in the second story, a lot of things are kind of changed in order. Like there's it I wouldn't say it feels better, but it works in a different kind of way. Like I like both of the cuts probably equally as much, but for some reason like the first, like the original cut just makes me go like, that this is nice. But I guess one of the other things I noticed that they changed, I'm not really sure why they did it, is they did a new English translation for the 4K restoration for Criterion, and it doesn't change much except for the first male character cop, his pager, his password changes from how it is in the 4K restoration, which is Undying Love. In the original, it's Love for 1,000 Years. And yeah, and I think it works a little better, especially with a line he has near the end of the what's it called? Near the end of his story, which is if love had a expiration, or if a memory had an expiration date, I want it to be for 1,000 years, or something like that, which works a little better. But it doesn't really change much. But it was just a little thing I noticed, and as well as color correction. That's a big thing in a lot of these. A lot of these Wong Kar-wai restorations for the Criterion set is a lot of them are colored very differently. I think the example a lot of people point to is their restoration of In the Mood for Love, which changes a lot of the scenes that are kind of. There's still a lot of scenes that are bathed in like the infamous, or like not the infamous, the iconic like red color of the movie, but some of them are made to be a little bit more green, and especially films like Days of Being Wild are like very green. Like that is the very dominant color in that movie. Yeah, and it's very strange. I would like to watch the original cut someday, but you know, I don't think it changes too much. But trying to think of other like notes for the story that I had.
I got one that I want to mention.
Sure.
Is so I watched Chungking Express last night, and ever since that moment, I have had the same song stuck deep in my brain.
That was a thing I forgot.
And I'm guessing
to
it's
write
gonna
down.
be this.
Yep.
I'm guessing it probably is the same thing for you. Like,
I knew I was forgetting something.
Na 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 na. So the song "California Dreamin'" by the Mamas and the Papas, which is a band that was very popular in the '60s. The song plays all the time in the second story. Like when they start the second story, they do the transition by starting the song, and that's the song that they use to introduce the characters.
Yeah, it happens. It literally comes in the frame that like Faye enters the movie.
And by the way, like when the song started, I got massive goosebumps. Like I was like, "Ooh, hell yeah!"
Like the first time you watch the movie, and like you keep hearing it, it's almost a feeling of like, oh, why is this repeating so much? But every time you watch the movie after that, you're immediately like, oh yes, it's back.
Yeah. It's also kind of like there's never gonna be a single moment in my life where I'm gonna hear the song California Dreamin' and not think of Chungking Express.
Oh yeah, no,
so like
me neither.
In a weird like marketing way, like it's a good way to remember the movie.
Oh yeah,
it's like, oh, what's Chungking Express? What's Chungking Express again? Yeah, the movie that constantly uses California Dreamin'. Yeah. It does also help that it's a really good song. But
yeah, it's true. It helps that the soundtrack choices for this movie are fantastic. Like
that's that's something that I noticed too. Yeah,
like there's hold on, I'm gonna pull it up right now because I'm forgetting the name of some of it. Let's see, Chungking Express soundtrack.
What's really interesting too that I noticed is that you see, so that's not a movie that has like a soundtrack that was made by a composer to make music for the movie. It's more one car that was like, oh, I want to put this song and this song by pre-existing songs by artists that didn't make it for a movie. And I think that's really a lot of the movie, a lot of the music in the movie are just songs that the characters are listening to instead of like just music in the background of the movie, which I think really makes it like more forgot the word, but it's like easier to get into the movie.
Yeah, a lot of the music, not just California Dreamin', but a lot of the music repeats quite a bit.
Yep.
Like there's in the first story, the main song that continues to repeat is Things in Life by Dennis Brown, which is the kind of song that plays in all of the blonde wig characters scenes. Which, if you're wondering why we're not calling her by her name, she doesn't have one. That's her character's name.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's California Dreamin'. There's What a Difference a Day Made by Dinah Washington. Um, there's this. So okay, I'm assuming a good number of people would probably be familiar with the song "Dreams" by the Cranberries, because it was a pretty big um, it was a pretty big song for that band. But in the movie, and especially in the credits and in a scene in the 4K restoration, I believe it's different for the original cut. But they use a cover done by Faye Wong, which is the actress for Faye. So she sings that, and she sings it good because it's a very good cover. But yeah, it's a really good soundtrack, and I think there's one more, which is "Know Who You Are at Every Age" by the Cocteau Twins, which I think is the song that plays in the restaurant near the end of the movie. I can't be too sure though. It's listed here.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
maybe
for a movie that doesn't have too many songs in it, I guess. It uses them in such a great way.
Yeah. But there was also, I mentioned the transition between the first and second story, but I just think that's another great moment in the movie where it's just like the first main male character that sees Faye and is like, this is the closest we've ever been, and unfortunately she fell in love with another man, and then California Dreamin' starts, and it's like the introduction sequence for the second story, and I love it so much.
It's such a cool moment in both that whole sync up with California Dreamin' and the fact that it parallels the beginning, where the first lines in the movie are when he bumps into the woman in the blonde wig, and he says, "This is the closest we ever got, just 0.1 centimeters between us," and then and then 57 hours later we fell in love, or I fell in love with her, and then the movie starts, and then it comes back when the story switches over. So perfect. Oh my god. How did he do this in 2 months? It's so wild.
I know, right? It really is incredibly impressive.
The last note I have is I just wrote Wong Kar-wai is incredible with colors. I don't remember what scene I wrote that for, but I mean it's correct.
It could honestly be any scene. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. He is amazing.
But yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of like to give the one criticism, the main reason why this movie is a 4.5 to me, 4.5 out of 5 and not a 5-star, is I do feel like the second story is a bit too long, I think, or part
it does drag a little bit.
The part in the middle where she there's a montage sequence where they show Faye going into the cop's house and cleaning his apartment with I don't know what song playing in the background. That's the part where I was kind of like, all right, move on, please. I get it.
Yeah, my thing.
It's
To be honest, I remember it, and this is the main reason. I tried really hard to find a copy of the original cut to watch before this episode, so I would know what I was talking about, but I just couldn't. Because I remember in the original cut, I remember that part of the movie being so much more entertaining, and I don't remember why. So I will talk about it in the future, I promise. Once I rewatch that cut.
Right. Yeah. If we ever make a Fallen Angels episode or another episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, in the end though, it still is like the second story still is really good, and overall the movie is one of my favorite movies that I watched last year, and also one of the movies that I end up thinking about the most. I know
I
this.
I
It
think
really
about it
is
a
like
lot too.
stuck in my head. Yeah.
It's definitely
And
it's made its
mhm.
way into like my top movies ever, because it's just so iconic and so
Yeah.
like it is so immediately like every time I watch it, I'm reminded how much I love it.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a 4.5, but I mean, honest. Let's be honest, it's a high 4.5.
Oh, it's very high, yeah.
Very high. Yeah, yeah.
No, I agree.
I said like what I said is like the one thing that makes it like a 4.5.
is that it's just like
Um,
just that little bit of like
just just a little thing. Yeah,
yeah, I get it completely.
it's like a four. It's like a 4.9. But um, also like it still is to me like definitely without a doubt Wong Kar-wai's best movie, and I mean I've yet to see his others, but like I doubt that his other ones are going to be better. I'm sure they're going to be good, but I
yeah.
doubt that they're going to be better.
The only one that comes close to me is 2046, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I like that movie so much more than like In the
Yeah.
Mood for Love or something like that. But I don't know why it hit with me really well. And Fallen Angels is really good too. Um,
Yeah. But
but
I mean,
yeah,
Fallen Angels, like the story behind Fallen Angels is it was supposed to be a third story in Chungking Express, but like Bonkar, I thought it would be too much to put all three movies, all three stories in the same movie, so he decided to make another entire movie for Fallen Angels.
yeah.
And I really like it.
It's really good. Like he
Mm-hmm.
makes another movie for Fallen Angels, and it's basically the same kind of structure of
Mm-hmm.
Chungking Express, but like
Mm-hmm.
with that third story and a new fourth story added in. So it really is like a
Yeah.
spiritual sequel to Chungking Express, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's good. We're gonna talk about it someday. I
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah. But I know I mentioned it in like a previous episode when I first saw it a few months ago, but yeah. So do I have? Hold on. Do I have anything else that I want to talk about? I'm sure I do. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't really like care to write in my notes because I thought like, oh, I'm gonna remember it, and I think there is some stuff that I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm sure there is. That's a shame.
The only thing I forgot about was California Dreamin', and I was like, we'll talk about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah, you can't mention this movie without it. Um,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what his name is. I think another big thing that makes Wong Kar-wai's movies and Chungking Express, in general, or like a specific or especially is the incredible visuals done by Wong Kar-wai and his cinematographer Christopher Doyle.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, some of the shots in this movie are just insane.
Yeah.
Like I legitimately I have been wanting to get some of those shots framed and put up on my wall above my computer for months. I don't know why I haven't done
Yeah.
it.
It's it was like honestly I don't know how I'm gonna pick the picture for the thumbnail because I felt like I have so much choice.
That's exactly what I was thinking about earlier. No, because like usually it's kind of easy, even though a lot of the movies we talk about,
Yeah.
even though the movies,
I mean, a lot of movies have like a lot of movies have like that one shot.
yeah, that it's like a lot of the movies we're talking about, or a lot of the movies that we talk about are, visually stunning in a lot of ways. Like like Silent Voice or like I'm trying to think of another. I'm sure there's one that I had like a lot of trouble with, and I can't remember it.
Yeah.
But like
But
this
I mean,
movie,
yeah.
it is legitimately so hard because I was thinking that any
like
shot that I saw could be like a thumbnail.
if you look at our thumbnails for like Spirited Away, Punch Drunk Love, The Shining, those are like
Yeah.
iconic shot and definitely the most iconic shot in their movie. So that was an obvious one, but like for Chungking Express, I'm gonna try to pick like my favorite one that I could find.
Hold on, I'm gonna look at our episodes real quick because I want to see like if there was any episode especially that I had trouble with. Bo Burnham's Inside was a decently difficult one. Perfect Blue, I didn't even use a shot from the movie. I used the promo image because it's just that good looking.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing for Spider-Man just because like it's 3 movies. What do you want me to do?
I
so just pick
understand
one
that
that could work for both. I'm pretty sure it's a picture for Spider-Man 2 because you can see Doc Ock's reflection in Spider-Man's eyes.
My favorite, I still think probably my favorite thumbnail out of our early episodes to me is probably House, because I think that's one of my favorite shots of the movie, is the one with all like the blue heads.
I remember when you first sent me like the visuals for the thumbnails and for the layout. I saw. I think the house thumbnail was the one that I saw that was really like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah. But that's about that's about all I had to say for Chungking.
Same for me,
like,
I think.
Yeah. So I mean, it's incredible. I mean, what else can we really say about it? It's just such a great movie that I know I'm going to be watching for years to come.
Yeah, it's one of the best examples on how to show a simple story well.
Yes. But yeah, that's about it for Chungking.
Well, all right.
Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Do you have any like big topics that you wanted to talk about?
Not really. Like usually, we always end up talking about what movies we saw in the past week, and I'll be perfectly honest. I haven't seen that many movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen 3. And in a very Canadian fashion, I saw two of those 3 movies are hockey movies.
Oh. Well, I mean,
I don't really have a lot of them.
You saw more than I saw. I only saw one, but it's a big topic movie. So, what were the ones that you watched?
It was Slapshot and Goon.
I've seen Slapshot.
So Slapshot is a movie from 1977 with Paul Newman, and Goon is a movie from 2011. It's quite a lot more recent, and those movies are kind of like tied together in my head because so those are 2 comedy movies about hockey, and more specifically about the how absurd it is that hockey players fight each other, and that's the main joke in both of those movies. Like in Goon, the main character is a terrible hockey player, but he can't throw a punch, and usually when he's on the ice, it's just like to punch someone. But the thing that's interesting with those 2 movies is that so they're fine comedies. I thought Slapshot was a bit boring, but they're fine comedies. The thing is,
yeah.
The thing is, what's really interesting is that so, as I've said many times in the podcast before, I am from Quebec, and I am from a French speaking family and everything, and I always watch my movies in English, except for a few specific movies, and those two movies are part of them because.
Really?
So all right, that's
interesting.
I'm gonna try to explain it to. Yeah, I'm gonna try to explain this to someone who doesn't speak French. But basically, the Quebec accent is very weird compared to the French accent. The best way to explain it is, it's as if the French accent was the American accent and the Quebec accent was the a Scottish accent.
Oh my god!
Just to show like, yeah.
Oh no.
And so, but usually, so for a bunch of different reasons, which like I don't feel like going into because that's really complicated. They dub movies in France, and we dub our own, like we make our own dubs in Quebec. But they're still with a like not a French accent, but a neutral accent. And there are a few movies that for some reason are dubbed in a Quebec accent. Famous examples are The Simpsons.
Wait, really?
Or oh yeah, dude. All right, another example of something that I cannot watch in English is The Simpsons because the Quebec dub is like so iconic to me.
Really? Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude, it's amazing. And also the Garfield movies, like the live action Garfield movies. I don't know why.
I love
but
that.
They are.
I love that.
And so it's just like, so it's obviously also the case for both Goon and Slapshot, and it makes the movie so. I definitely think it makes the movie so much funnier because it's like they're, you know, the characters in those movies, like at least in the French dub, like swear a lot, and I am proud of my accent mainly because of the swear words.
That's
because,
the thing I remember about English Slapshot is that I don't remember there being that many swear words because I'm pretty sure it was PG. At least over here in the States, which is hilarious.
Oh boy, all right, everyone in the Quebec dub, everyone swears all the fucking time, and there's something in Quebec about our swear words, which is so. I'm not afraid to say that we have the best swear words in any language in any accent. That's just, I'm sorry to say, but we do.
Can I have some examples?
And so, ooh. All right.
I would love to know.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you the main one. It's kind of like our fuck. That's basically our fuck.
What is it?
So it's tabarnak.
I've heard that one.
Yeah, and basically, so what's interesting about kind of like the Quebec swear words tangent? What's interesting about our swear words is that they're all, I think every single one of them are related to religion, to Catholic religion, because Quebec used to be extremely religious, and those were like the words you could not say, could not say like, and so tabarnak is hold on, let me just, I'm not exactly sure what it is in English. Let me just.
Oh, by the way, I was wrong. Slapshot is rated R. I don't know why I thought it was PG.
Oh, all right.
I think I got that mixed up with the fact that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was originally PG, except for when they added that scene where Steve Martin says fuck like 20 times. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So all right. Hold on. I should have prepared for this. Hold on, I'm doing some research on religion. I was not prepared to do that. So, in the word in English would be tabernacle, which I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it is a religious
tabernacle.
Thing. Yeah.
That sounds like a fishing term. I'm gonna look that up. Tabernacle. What does it mean?
Yeah, there are
It is okay.
There
Okay.
are some other swear words. Yeah.
It means a fixed or movable habitation, typically of light construction, or a meeting place for worship, used by some Protestants or Mormons. So how did that become a swear word?
Hold on. I found there's another word. There's another meaning. For those Christian traditions, which a tabernacle or a sacrament house is a fixed. Oh no, you're just reading the same thing. It's a church thing, and it's basically like, I don't know. It's just a lot of swear words are just religion thing. The biggest, like, easiest example to understand is Chris, which is Christ. It is, although I think it is like more of a swear words in Quebec than in English.
Very much so. You say price?
Yeah. Christ.
Oh.
Yeah, like Jesus. Like
Jesus. It's not that big of a swear word over here. I mean, if you say it around some really big Christians, like, they won't be happy.
No, all right.
If you're like, oh Christ, like, a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, don't do that. But most people are not gonna care.
To give an example, I don't think I could go on TV and say Chris.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Definitely not tabernacle. You can't say that.
No, dude. Tabarnak is the big one, and is like, even one that, like, I don't even dare to say, because, like, ooh.
Really?
That's a dirty word.
That's one.
No, I do. I do, like, say it, but, like,
right.
It always feels a bit like, ooh, I'm saying a dirty word.
That's like the ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. Kind of like just give the last one. There is also est. Asi, more the pronunciation, which is like the it's like the thing in religion that's like the the kind of type of, like, candy that is, like, supposed to be the Christ's body. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. It's that, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and when it's not used, it's like when they're not used in a religion thing, like back in the 50s when it was super religious, it was considered as, like, a bad thing to say, and so, like, it somehow became a very important part of our culture, and I'm very happy about that. I think it's really funny, but
it is really funny. It's I think it's I always think it's really funny to hear about I guess other cultures slang, like I was, or even like slang between like communities. Like I have a friend who's really into hockey, and he was the one that I went to Florida with last summer, and because his family lives there, right. And he had a lot of hockey friends that we would hang out with, and they started saying stuff that I was like out of this world laughing at, and I'm like, what are you talking about? There's one that I legitimately said that's not a word, is when they said I think it was Bardowski down the Tendy, and I think I turned to my friend, I was like, what the hell did you just say to me? And I'm looking it up right now. I do not remember it. I think that's exactly what it was, but I do not remember what it meant. Okay, a hockey term that describes shooting the puck at the net and having it hit the crossbar and drop down into the goal. Okay. Oh.
All right. That seems oddly specific.
I guess it's a term, because I remember, because I remember he was like, you can ask everybody that we hang out with. So every day I was just like, what does this mean? And they would tell me exactly what it meant. And I was floored by it. But I love it so much.
It's like in the past year, that's another example. In the past year, I watched a lot of like British TV shows and movies and YouTubers, and I got like kind of into like I do really like British slangs and just the British accent in general, and like my older brother is like really trying hard to learn the Scottish accent because he really loves it. And it's like I cannot make anything that almost sounds like a British accent, but I just love to kind of like joke with my brother and just be like, "Oi, oi, mate, oi, oi, what's going on? Oi."
There's okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Baltimore accent?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so this is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I have never been to Baltimore. For those who are not in the States, Baltimore is a city in the state of Maryland, which is kind of on the eastern seaboard. But they talk with some of the things they say sound like absolute nonsense, and I can't even replicate it. Okay, I'm gonna find the video that is like the funniest thing I've ever seen, and I'm gonna put it in our little chat, and you can watch it because that's just how like unexplainable it is.
All right.
It's like, hang on. Yes! Oh my god, I found it. I'm so happy.
Alright.
Okay, hang on, let me put it in.
Yeah. Alright, there it is. Hold on. Alright.
Just got my head bibbling tugging on the fuck with you monoculencies tinga to do. My man got the wave suckling monoculences. We got the suckling monoculencies on the fuck with you duckulitudes.
What is he saying?
I don't know.
Bibbling tugging on the fucking smacklets.
Dude, he sounds. Why does he sound so British?
If you wanna put the audio in the episode or something, it is so
Oh yeah.
absolutely insane. And like that's the thing with most like accents. Like with a Boston accent, you can kind of see like, okay, I know what they're saying, kinda. And with like with even with the Scottish accent, you can go like, oh, that's where those words like morph into. With the Baltimore accent, I don't even really feel like they're saying anything. Like that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I remember that was one of my like that was one of my like COVID quarantine rabbit holes I went on for like a night. Was like trying to figure out what they're saying, and I just couldn't.
Well, it's like, oh man, it's like the first time that I really discovered like truly what the Scottish accent is. I think it was like by watching videos of maybe like Lewis Capaldi, who's just like, you know, for those who don't know him, he's a very, very talented singer who is incredibly Scottish in like his accent. And he does not ever try to hide it in interviews, which I think is really cool. But it's also like, I've gotten better at this. Like I can listen to him and I can understand what he's saying. But like at first I was like, what is that? And it's like, last summer I was watching a show with my mom, called Broadchurch with David Tennant as the main character, and he's got a very like he's a Scottish actor and he has a very Scottish accent in that show, and like I remember that my mom had like trouble listening to him and like truly understanding what he was saying, which I mean I kind of understand, yeah. Accents are funny, man.
They are really funny. I love hearing it, and I think it's really funny, because like in my eyes, obviously, like I have no accent. I don't even think I really do, because I think there's
that's what I heard.
There's like just a segment I think of the United States that just has an accent that just doesn't really have an accent, but technically it is. I just like to think of it as nothing.
Well,
So what were you gonna say?
Isn't it a thing that like isn't it a thing that like the Ohio accent is like the basic like ground zero accent of the U.S.
Kind of,
like, isn't that a thing?
No, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ohio, Indiana. Once you get to Kentucky, you start getting some southern accents, but like around here is where it's like, oh yeah, this is how most Americans talk. But there are some things that like Ohioans say that a lot of people don't. I guess the big thing is, okay. The big one that everybody says on Twitter and everything that became like a big meme for a while is like the Midwestern thing of or like the Midwestern and Mideastern thing of saying like, oh, didn't see you there, or like when you're passing by someone, go like, oh, oh. Like I don't go the whole 9 yards and say like, oh, didn't see you there. I do say "ope" though. Yeah. Like the biggest thing that I do, and I noticed I catch myself doing this so much, is like when I'm driving and like I almost do something illegal. I just look and I go, oh shit, all right, and I just keep going. But I catch myself sometimes, and I'm like, I guess that is our thing, even if we don't have an accent.
Yeah, because to me, like in my head, the map of like the U.S. accent is like if you go on like the kind of like the Northeast and like New York and Boston, it's like very Italian influence. Like, hey, I'm walking over here. That
if you basic, do that to New Yorkers, they will kill you. It is so funny.
I know.
If you do the whole, hey, I'm walking here, you will get hit. It is so funny.
I'm walking over here.
But like, it's
my brother's favorite thing to say is like, hey, I'm walking over here. What do you mean you don't pronounce the G in sandwich?
Sandwich.
Sandwich.
I think like the U.S. map of accents really is like towards the northern states. You're just gonna get like the normal accent, like what I sound like right now. You're just gonna get that.
Yeah.
But if you go like anywhere south of Kentucky, like in that whole area, southern accents, except for obviously, you know, the like western seaboard, like with California, Nevada, New Mexico, a lot of that. A lot of that's gonna be just either regular ways I'm talking right now or like some other kind of accent. And then you get the really funny ones that are like localized entirely within cities, like the Baltimore accent or the Boston accent. And it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird that that's how like language works.
Yeah. Well, it's like in California, like California definitely has its own accent that I cannot reproduce, but it's definitely like I'll be watching a video and it'll be like, "Yep, you're from California for sure."
I almost want you to reproduce it because I.
It's like I don't know.
I guess you do.
They've got a lot of fry. A lot of like in their voice.
I guess there is.
Actually, I always imagine like when I'm doing this accent, I always imagine like having a Starbucks cup in my hand.
Oh my god, yeah. Although a lot of that
it is.
That's more of a way like that. Definitely California, they do that a lot. There are some mainly girls up here that talk like that. But it is mostly there.
That's kind of the way that I imagine like my representation of what the California accent is just the way that Kim Kardashian talks. Like a representation of like Kim Kardashian and like Paris Hilton and those kinds of people. It's just like what I imagine when I think of like Californian accent.
I guess it would be. That would be most of it. Like a lot of I guess a lot of California people do kind of talk like that. But I've never been, so I can't really say.
Yeah.
The furthest I've been out there is Las Vegas, and they just kind of talk normal. Or talk like I'm talking now.
Yeah, I've never really heard of a really heard of a like Las Vegas accent.
Yeah.
Last thing that I want to say about accent, isn't it the thing that, like the UK is the place that has the most like regional accent.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like you'll go from a village to another one. It's like as if they speak completely different languages. It's really really strange. But
it is really strange. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We were talking about movies. So you watched Slapshot Goon.
Yeah.
And, what was the third one?
The third one is Tokyo Godfathers
Ooh.
by Satoshi Kon.
I saw that on your letterbox last night.
Yeah. So I have now officially watched every single movie directed by Satoshi Kon. I still have Paranoia Agent to watch.
Very impressive.
Thank you. It's only 4 movies, but thank you very much.
I mean, I still haven't watched them for some reason.
Oh my god, dude. So Tokyo Godfathers and Millennium Actress, I feel like kind of like are his 2 more obscure movies. I feel like when people talk about Satoshi Kon, they always talk about Paprika and Perfect Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say the reason why those movies are more obscure is not because of their quality. Because I've said, like, Millennium Actress is one of my favorite movies ever, and it's my favorite by Satoshi Kon. And Tokyo Godfathers is really, really good, too.
Yeah.
It's definitely his most, it's his funniest, definitely his most comedy-focused movie. And it's his, I don't know, in my head, when I think of Satoshi Kon, I think of, like, kind of like, almost psychedelic stories where you're just watching it and you're like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And so if you think about it that way, then Tokyo Godfathers probably is his least Satoshi Kon movie. There are a few, like there's a dream sequence in particular that is quite like, you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, Satoshi Kon, there it is. I see it. But in general, it really is more of a comedy about, basically the story is 3 homeless people who find a baby that they found in the trash, and instead of like going to the police and telling them about it, they try to go on their own quest to find the baby's parents. And it is as I said, very funny, but it also is very sweet. And it's a very beautiful film about, like, you know, the way that the characters are developed. It's like this movie has a very small amount of characters, and like you've got these 3 characters and then a bunch of small characters all throughout. So it's very, very focused on those 3. And by the end of the movie, you're just like, you just get so familiar with them, and you really get attached to them, which I think is really great. Honestly, in terms of like writing characters, it's probably Satoshi Kon's best film. Honestly, I really like it. I think if I were to rank his movies from from least favorite to favorite, it would be I think it would be Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers, Perfect Blue, and Millennium Actress.
Okay.
I think that would be it. Yeah. But yeah, so that was, like, I really didn't plan on watching it, but it was just like me yesterday being very bored and being like, I want to watch a movie. And I noticed that it was on Netflix and that it was only an hour and a half. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to watch it. And another good thing is it's an hour and a half, but it feels like 20 minutes. Like it's one of those movies.
Oh, that's great.
That was really great. So yeah, Tokyo Godfathers, really good film.
Yeah. So, as for the movie that I saw, there is, so okay, the thing with, I don't know if this happened in Quebec, but, over here in, northern Ohio, we got hit with a massive snowstorm, a couple weeks ago that really did a number on us.
Yeah.
And it, for one thing, buried my car, which I do not have a good car. Like it does not do well in the snow. But it completely buried my car in snow, and until very recently, I could not get out of my not get out of my driveway, or out of my parking lot. But
do you have like snow tires?
No, I don't.
For your car?
I need to get those, but
Probably
So
should.
what like see that's the problem though, is that it's so inconsistent over here, because it's like last year it snowed really bad once. Like we got one day where it was like really bad, and then it melted the next day, and for some reason it's sticking now.
Yeah.
But so I bring this up because I've been wanting to see this movie that came into theaters last week called Belle, and it is the new film by let me see the new film by Mamoru Hosoda, who directed really big anime movies like Mirai, which is the only anime film not Studio Ghibli to be nominated for an Oscar. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Wolf Children, Summer Wars, Boy and the Beast. He directed some One Piece, I think. But he's huge, and this was a big movie release. And I was like, yeah, I really want to see this. And my friend Ryan was also like, yeah, let's go see this. But until literally last night, I couldn't get my car out. But when I realized that I was able to drive it free, I immediately called my friend. I'm like, let's go now, or like, let's go see it tonight. And so we saw Belle, which is just breathtaking. Like, okay, so I'm not gonna spoil anything about the story, obviously, but it is worth mentioning that it is a movie that is that loosely takes some story beats, or like just some story elements from Beauty and the Beast, but is just is much different enough to where it's like its own thing. And I will say, in terms of my actual thoughts on the movie, I thought the story could have been pulled off better, but I think the visuals and the music especially was so amazing that I don't even care. Like, I don't care that the story is like not that great. It is just so insane. It's the first time that I've really paid attention to a movie's score in a long time. Like, it is just so beautiful. Like the vocal songs are great. Just the regular like instrumentals are incredible. It is by all means a fantastically like soundtracked movie, and visually too. The animation is amazing because it takes a lot of there are scenes that are animated in 2D, and if this were like a regular movie discussion, I'd kind of go into it, but I won't. But it's like some scenes are 2D, but a good bit of the film is animated with 3D CGI, like Beastars uses, and much like Beastars, it really excels at using it. And the sense of scale in this movie is insane. Like, it's so big. Like, it feels like watching Castle in the Sky from Studio Ghibli for the first time. That's what it felt like watching that in the theater.
All right.
It is so incredible. And if you if anybody has the chance to see this while it's in theaters, I would take it. But definitely when it comes out on demand or Blu-ray or anything like that, rent it, buy it. It's just, oh my god, it's so good. It's one of the best. Yeah. One of the best theater movies I've seen in a good bit. But yeah. A thing I learned about it too, which is absolutely insane, is that this year at the Cannes Film Festival, it received a 14-minute standing ovation, which was the longest at the festival that year. Even more than French Dispatch, which is surprising. So
yeah, I think that's like the thing that I find really funny about Cannes, which is like whenever the end of film, they always like do a 10-minute long standing ovation, which is like really, to me, really just sounds so like I don't know. I feel like I would hate that if I were the director. Like just 10 minutes of people clapping and just like, yep.
It's like, all right, okay. I get it.
Yeah, dude. I honestly, like, if I were the director, I just after 2 minutes, I just pick up the mic and be like, all right, I get it. But yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Belle is really good. That's kind of all I have to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
All
right.
But yeah, trying to think of other things to talk about.
Well, I could just mention, like, I probably would have tried to watch Belle if theaters were open in Quebec.
Oh no, did they close theaters?
Because they did. They did. At the end of December, but they announced this week that they're going to reopen the theaters in February 7th.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming
that's that.
I'm assuming they closed it because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for when they're gonna reopen. I don't know what movie. I don't know what movies I'm gonna be watching, but it's really annoying because it's like there's a particular theater that I really like that was supposed to show Drive My Car throughout January. And so now I hope that they're gonna still show it in February because I really want to watch it.
Yeah, my local art house theater is showing Drive My Car in early February, and
yeah,
I really hope that we don't get like closed before then, because I'm not saying that's what it's looking like over here, but it is getting kind of bad. Like it seems like I can't go a day without hearing about someone, not in my like inner circle, but someone in like maybe like a college professor that I have getting exposed to it, or someone that I know getting exposed to it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, we've got also like this week, I think. Hold on, before I say that, I just really want to check my facts because I'm not entirely sure of that. All right, so there's the singer Meatloaf who unfortunately passed away this week, and a lot of people are. I don't think it's been like actually confirmed, but a lot of people are saying that it was because of COVID-19. And it always sucks when like you hear a celebrity that actually like pretty much every single celebrity has gotten it, but when you hear someone that like died from it, that sucks.
Yeah, it's just the worst.
Yeah.
And Meatloaf too. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, what I think is interesting about Meatloaf is that like, he's mostly a singer, but I don't know his music at all. I just know him from the movies he's been in.
It's the same here, with the exception of his album Bad Out of Hell, which is like a really famous album over here, at least from that era. But like his roles in like Rocky Horror, Fight Club, like those are the ones that are like, yeah, that's what I know Meatloaf from.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, he's got the best song in all the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I mean his performance in Fight Club was really, really good.
It really is like a stand-up performance from that movie, with even in that movie with really good performances. But yeah, it's just a shame that we lost him. We lost comedian Louis Anderson. Just today, actually, we lost the original voice actor for Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
I saw that earlier today.
Yeah,
just insane.
Yeah, sucks. I mean, we even lost Betty White like at the very end of 2021.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
It's like that was a bad one. Yeah, it feels like for the past few months, like it feels like for the past few months, pretty much every day I see like someone that died, and a lot of time it's not someone that I know of. Like it's gonna be like Criterion mentioning a smaller director that passed away that I'm not familiar with, or it's gonna be a certain musician that I'm not aware of their music, and you know, even if I don't know them, it always sucks. And especially like in the past few months, it feels like there's been even more people that I know, like big names that died.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been messed up on these celebrity deaths since MF Doom died back in at the end of 2020. In Norm Macdonald too near the end of last year. Oh, did we talk about Bob Saget passing away? That one was really sad.
No, we didn't talk about.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, that one got me.
Yeah,
because it's not a great show, but I used to watch Full House all the time when I was younger.
Yeah, and I've said how I'm a big How I Met Your Mother fan, and he does like the narration, like the voiceover in the show, and his voice is so like I'll be honest, I didn't know him until I watched How I Met Your Mother, just because I'm not that familiar with American stand-up comedians.
Right.
And the first time I watched his stand-up, I was just it almost felt weird, because to me it's like, no, it's old Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother. That's not. It just felt weird to hear him talk about like sex.
Dude,
jokes
imagine
and that kind
how
of stuff.
I felt. My first exposure to Bob Saget was from Full House, where he's Danny Tanner, the most wholesome dad on TV in the 90s. And now here he is on stand-up on stage going crazy. And I was like, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know if you have. I feel like I had another thing to talk about. I just gotta remember it.
I mean, I do have a mini thing that I talked about with you over the past couple weeks, but didn't want to mention publicly until I just went for it. So I started streaming on Twitch. Mm-hmm. I've started by streaming the indie game Amori. But I plan to stream a lot more of just stuff in the future. But it was something that I guess I wanted to like jump into the deep end with it, because I didn't want it to be one of those things where I say that I'm gonna do it and then not end up doing it. So I was like, I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna do it on Twitter, and I'm just gonna do it. Mm-hmm. And I talked about it with like a few people, including Phil. But yeah. I am a streamer now, so now yeah, which I mean, this will have already happened by the time that this episode comes out, but we're recording this on the Wednesday before the Friday release, so on Thursday I'll be streaming some more Amori. But the thing with Twitch is that I don't have a schedule with it, because like it's really gonna be like, when am I available to do it, because I have obviously school and everything. I'm getting a job soon, so it's, it's a lot. But yeah, I do. Yeah, that's a thing I do now, and that's really something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I guess I haven't been ready to.
Yeah. It's like, what was it, on Monday when you streamed?
Yes, that was Monday night.
Yeah, I looked up your live stream on Twitch, and I saw that you had like seven viewers, which is more than I've ever had in like on my entire Twitch channel.
Really?
Yeah.
That was mainly.
But I guess I just haven't talked about it to as many people as you.
It was. I think it was mainly my friends that I had mentioned that I was doing this to, and people that followed me on Twitter, which is not too many.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I did not expect that many people to stick around Like my girlfriend was there for like a while, but she had to go at some point. My friend was there the entire time, which was crazy. I did not expect that big a turnout, and I really don't expect that big a turnout in the future.
Yeah.
But I guess I will say this for the podcast, but after Omori is done, I'm going to, or not even after it's done, probably like soonish, I'm going to start streaming the new Five Nights at Freddy's game, Security Breach.
Oh, really?
Because I've been wanting to play it for a while, and I don't know, I didn't have like a way to justify it in my head until like I thought about like, hey, why don't I just stream it? Because I wanted to play it by myself, and I'm like, I don't really want. I don't really know if that'd be too fun. I'm like, maybe I should just play it online with some of my friends. I'm like, or maybe I could stream it. But I have a Twitch channel now, and I also have a VODs channel that you can find through my YouTube channel. But that's that.
Yeah, we need to update the layout so that we can add your Twitch channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really like at the beginning of the year I said like, oh, I'm gonna stream like I'm gonna make a schedule and I'm gonna stream 3 times a week, and I ended up not doing that. Just because I feel like I'm not really like, I know that I want to stream, but I'm not really sure what I want to do.
I get
like
you.
what games I want to play, because the issue is like that in general I don't really play that many games. And so I feel like maybe gaming is not the thing that really works best for me. But I think also the main thing is I don't like just talking to myself for 3 hours. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, I understand that. And like in the future, see, my biggest thing right now is like I enjoy like streaming by myself. Like I know for the rest of Omori I'm gonna do it like that. Probably for Security Breach I'll stream by myself. But like I know in the future I have plans to like stream with other people in a Discord call, because it really is that to me really is like when streams are most interesting. There aren't a whole lot of streamers that I personally watch that like I think can keep up that momentum by themselves. Like there's obviously like the one I watch the most is German 985. But or like I'll watch like Ludwig sometimes. He can do it pretty well.
Yeah, I love Ludwig.
Yeah, but there's like but like there's also sometimes where it's like I just like streams where there's like just multiple people, you know, just making jokes, because usually that's good.
I mean, I told you that, and like we got to do this. We got to find a game.
Oh yeah,
that we could stream together. like the other day I was looking through my my Steam account and I didn't find anything. I do like that's kind of like a thing that I'm putting on the table. I've been like wanting to. I don't know if you can play that online, but I've been wanting to play a Lego game on my Twitch channel for a while.
There are some,
because I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think
I have. I've already got like the 2 Harry Potter ones, obviously. I also have the Lord of the Ring one that I bought recently in a sale.
Okay, wait. Can you
because I was curious?
Can you play the Harry Potter ones like online natively? I don't think you can. Did they add that? I don't
know, but
no,
I don't.
Because
so unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I remember that one didn't have it, because I remember my friend and I tried to do the whole Steam remote play thing or whatever, and it was just awful. Like it was so bad.
Shit. Well, my light just fell off. Hold on a sec.
What's that?
My light fell off. I have a small light that I put on my monitor and it just fell off.
Oh no!
All right, it's good.
All right,
everything's good now.
Let me see. Like, I'm actually curious now. I am looking at Lego games that have multiplayer built in. We'll have to find that, because I would be
Yeah.
You have no idea how down I would be to do that.
Yeah. That would be so cool. Yeah. I think it's more recent games that are going to have that.
Yeah. Like the what was it? The Skywalker saga is coming out soon.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, if that
I've also got, as I said, I've also got the Lord of the Rings, which is a more recent one, so it might have it.
it might that might not be a bad idea. Let me check it. It seems like it's just local multiplayer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Never mind. It is.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're gonna find something.
We'll find something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't think there's anything more that I had to talk about from this week. It's mainly just been, for me, classes. That's all I've been doing. It's just classes.
Yeah. Dude, like this week's been kind of a blur for me. Like I've just been working on like YouTube and watching like YouTube videos and sleeping a lot. That's been fun. Yeah. Shit. I felt like I had another thing that I wanted to mention, but I don't remember what. That's pretty annoying. Well, should we talk about next week's film?
I guess we should. I mean, it is a decently short episode this time around, but we don't really have much more to talk about, I guess. Let me see. There is one I have in mind, but I want to do randomizer just to see if it gives me one that's better. God, I really want to rewatch this movie though. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Are you okay? Are you before I do this? Are you all right with next week's film being a bit of a longer one?
Depends what it is.
So I was thinking.
But I think I know what you're gonna say.
Okay. I was thinking that next week's film could be Solaris, directed by Andrei Tarkovsky.
Oh. I thought you might say that, but I thought since you were mostly talking about like a longer film, I thought we were gonna say Seven Samurai.
Oh God.
which I really didn't feel like talking about.
No.
Mostly that I didn't feel like, spending 3.5 hours of my week
I understand
watching that.
No,
I'm down for Solaris.
Yeah. Well, Solaris is about 2 hours and nearly 2 hours and 50 minutes, so it is a longer one.
Right.
But yeah. So
all right.
I think it's one of those longer movies that, like, I remember when I watched it, it felt like it didn't felt like it went by fast. It felt like it was just like I was just there, like absorbing it. It is such a if we could describe Chungking Express as a vibe, Solaris is a whole different vibe. It is something else. So I hope everybody's ready for that.
Oh, but there's just another thing that I was thinking about recently, which is, can you believe that this is our first, like, this episode is our first time talking about a Criterion movie since Tampopo?
What, really? Oh my God. Oh my God,
yeah.
You're right.
So it's been 10 episodes.
Wow. It has been 10 episodes since we last talked about a Criterion movie. Oops.
Yeah, and I mean, when we started, we were talking about like mostly that.
Yeah.
And we
well,
just
like,
kind of
because we went from like House, Memories of Murder, Harold and Maude, Punch Drunk Love, Tampopo, and we did kind of stop with that, but
we kind of went to like to talk about mostly like big classics.
That's true, yeah. But I mean, we talked about Chungking Express today, and we're talking about Solaris next week, which Solaris is a Criterion film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And also was like, it's not as big of a that big, but it's our first episode since Spirited Away that's not like an American movie.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So it's been like
Monty
episodes,
Python's British.
Quite a lot. English speaking.
Oh, okay,
let's put it there. I guess this is it then.
Alrighty.
Well, all right. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode of Movie Dudes. If you liked it, you can like, comment, subscribe. You can watch our own content on our YouTube channel and on our Twitch channels. We're also on Letterboxd, and I think that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week to talk about Solaris by Andrei Tarkovsky. Bye.
Bye.